Hey everyone, this is Kit Cabello of hardlensmedia. I'm joined here today with LaShawn Littrice. She was one of the speakers for the Victory Forum against white supremacy and systemic racism, and you are part of Black Lives Matter Women's Faith. So thank you so much for joining Harlens Media.
Thank you for having me.
So during our live stream coverage of this on our Facebook page, you were mentioning about how there must be unity between all these different grassroots organizations in order to combat systemic racism as well as the economic divides that is keeping all the communities separate. So essentially, what is needed to really get the job done?
We need to continue to have organizations like this come together, invite people with various platforms. Once we realize that we are all fighting for a overall general cause, everything's interrelated. So the problem that we have with separate organizations, it creates a field of separatism. And once we realize that our voice becomes more impacting when we join forces together, it doesn't matter if we don't agree about everything 100%. We're really trying to get our message out to the masses and make a difference.
Now, corporate media wants to portray a narrative, especially here in the city of Chicago, that it's a violent city, that especially in low-income neighborhoods, predominantly neighborhoods of color, that there's nothing but violence, and that there must be intense police activity in those communities in order for there to be peace. What are your thoughts on how corporate media has portrayed, at least inner cities?
I'm very saddened by what I see perpetuated in the media. I have friends in other states, I have friends in other countries, and they really do have a perception that it is the wrong thing to do to come to visit Chicago. What I explain to them is you only see on TV what they want you to see, and unfortunately negative is what's being promoted. So when you see that negativity being perpetuated, you have to understand that it's centralized in certain spots, and it's only being highlighted because of who is involved. And unfortunately, the media does not go to the positive side. They start off with very negative stories. And so I explain to people that Chicago is a multicultural, diverse city. It is just like many other places. It has its good and bad parts, but the bad parts don't outweigh the entire city. So I urge them to still come and visit and come and experience this kind of city and see the diversity that it brings.
Now, let's look at this at a different subject in regards to Black Lives Matter Women of Faith, your organization. What is your organization has done in regards to reaching out to the community and, building a stronger community so that people can come together?
So what we do, we take on causes within the community that affect everyone. So right now we have a current boycott that's been going on for 180 days at a store called Misha. A black girl was beat in the store in Charlotte, North Carolina on March 9th. We started our boycott a few days later as a solidarity of that store. The owner refused to fire the person that beat her, and they refused to even deal with the situation. So we felt like they were coming into our communities and they were violently imposing anti-blackness. They were imposing abuse, disrespect. Those kind of issues are near and dear to our hearts because not only does it affect us, it affects our children, it affects everyone in the neighborhood, and we feel like there's enough disinvestment in the black community. So we want businesses that represent us, that don't mind investing in the communities, and they take our money seriously, not just come in and take the dollar and say that's all we care about is the dollar, but they form relationships and they build communities. So most of the missions that we join on, they are usually things that try to promote and empower individuals to show them that their lives are very much worth more than what they've been told, and also that they can do what they can to contribute to the change.
Now, looking at this current administration in the White House, what concerns do you have in regards to this president and the policies that he may implement in regards towards people of color or immigrants? What are your initial thoughts on that?
I think that the administration is on a mission to try to curb whatever they think that the Obama administration has done. I think that their mission is to not only perpetuate systemic racism, they don't even acknowledge that that's what it is, but they are picking marginalized groups of people to impose these policies on that affect them that really, really does matter with their equality. So as far as black people, immigrants, Muslims, he personally has done policies to affect people, and even so much as to say a group like Black Lives Matter is a terrorist group. I mean, that's absurd, but that's being perpetuated from the administration, so much so he's trying to make that into something that people can say this is a law. If you stand up and defend yourself, you're considered a terrorist. But really? So when we think about that, that's why people felt empowered in Charlottesville to come the way that they did and try to go against black people on such a large platform.
Now, 2018, there's going to be a huge election cycle that's going to happen all across this country, and the Democrats are, holding the banner saying that they are part of the resistance. Seeing as how some people are still critical of the Democratic Party, do you think that their political policies and actions will be stronger in 2018, or is this just lackluster talk from that party in regards to just trying to get more votes and get more seats?
I think exactly that they're just lackluster talk. They're just basically saying what they think they need to say in order to be elected back in, because it is a decision-making time where whoever is going to get in and control it is going to be the controller of everything. I think that they now see that people are serious about standing up for themselves, but they have not created a platform for them to even come forward and show that they are unified with us. And so they're going to have a problem getting elected. Many of these officials who have run on the backs of people, the backs of Laquan McDonald, the backs of saying that they're going to get justice for corrupt police, they're going to have a hard time being reelected, because many people came out and voted for them just because of what they got up to say that they would do.
Right. And returning back to our state in Illinois, in 2018, there's going to be a vote for the governor, and in 2019, there'll be a vote for the mayor of the city of Chicago. Currently, we're under Mayor Emanuel's administration, and for the state, we're under Governor Bruce Rauner's administration, Republican and Democrat. But can these two administrations effectively possibly reach out to the communities, or is it time for a new change? And if so, what is necessary for a new administration to come into both those seats of power?
It is definitely time for a new change. They've been in office long enough that if they were going to do something and effect change, it would have been done already, and we would see the remnants of that change. They've been too busy fighting. So in order to change things, they're going to have to be a strong push for some fresh people in those offices, especially mayor and governor. Right now, we don't see any support for the mayor in many of the causes that we go for. We definitely don't see any support from the governor. The thing is, they're bickering amongst each other. So right now, the fight between the two of them is far greater than the fight what we're having, because if they can't agree on platforms as far as education, they're not going to necessarily be concerned with social justice. So I think they need to be out of there.
And final question, where can our viewers and subscribers learn more about your organization and find you on social media?
They can find us at BLM Women of Faith. It sounds just like it is. It stands for Black Lives Matter. BLM Women of Faith. I can also be found on social media as LaShawn Littrice, and also Carolyn J. Ruff. She's the founder of the organization. We publish all the time events and things that we're doing, and we welcome people to join us. It doesn't matter if you're man, woman, black, white, blue, purple, any of that.
All right, well, that's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for joining Hard Lens Media. Peace, everyone.
Thank you.
You're watching Hard Lens Media.